How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be hopping into some ranked seasons. I'm currently at 855 rating, and I actually played a couple of these games on during my live stream over on Twitch earlier today. We will be facing an all-finest team here in the first game, along with Clayton Kershaw on the mound. Clayton Kershaw will be pitching for both teams. I see this matchup quite a bit, and this is the first time that I am going up against an all-finest lineup. So this is going to be something completely new. A lot of these cards are really good. We're starting off by facing the finest Ozzy Albies. This card destroys lefties. I forgot about how much power he actually has against left-handed pitching. We do have Kershaw on the mound, so he starts it off with a base knock, and then later on in the inning, 2 outs, he smacks a slider on the inside half for a 2-run shot with the finest Josh Bell. That Josh Bell card is definitely really good. Switch hitter with a lot of power from both sides. But I'm trying to chip away at this deficit, down 2 runs in the first inning. We start the game off with a solo shot, a no-doubter from Honus Wagner. And following up with Ted Williams, I'm going to go ahead and square this fastball up, but I got it off the handle of the bat just barely. And that's going to be a deep fly out to the center field wall. And center fielder Ketel Marte makes the play. So we have Willie Mays up, 1 down, a 3-2 count. Saw a couple pitches from Kershaw, and I swung with perfect timing on that one. Got a no-doubter on a pitch over the middle of the plate. I feel like he missed location with that fastball a little bit, and I was able to send it out for a no-doubter. It's nice to get a couple runs early on Kershaw. I'm sure he's thinking the same exact thing, as it's now a 2-2 ball game. We had a chance with a double play there facing finest Bryce Harper, but he does beat it out with that increased speed. Later on in the game, we have Pablo Sanchez making his return into the lineup. I've kind of taken him out for a few games, put in Mike Piazza here and there. I tried to go with a little bit more arm strength. I recently switched his stance to Chipper Jones. And later on in the game, Pablo Sanchez up once again with a guy in scoring position, and I squared that one up, flew out to left field. 115 power, not enough power to send that one out of the park. I don't really know where I missed it, but maybe I didn't swing early enough. Maybe I swung a little bit too early. It's tough to tell. There's 2 outs, so we'll never know with the feedback. But we're already in the 6th inning in this one. Clayton Kershaw still on the mound, pitching pretty well. It's kind of a low-scoring game. At the same time, there has been a lot of lineouts, a lot of well-hit balls to the warning track for both teams. I feel like both teams can have a couple more runs. Here I swung a little bit late with Willie Mays, flew out to the right field wall there. His right fielder makes the play, facing JT Realmuto in the top of the 7th inning with nobody down, and he starts it off with a late base hit. So I would have liked to have been rewarded on my late base hits, but unfortunately I did not really, that wasn't really the case in this one so far. I just had a couple solo shots, and 3 to be exact. This opponent was able to get a couple of late base hits later on in this game, and he definitely had the big hit earlier in the game to be able to score some runs early on. Now he has the bases loaded with 2 outs, and I threw a changeup with Sergio Romo, the first changeup I threw with him, and that's going to be sent the other way for a base knock. Ted Williams does not have the arm strength to throw him out at the plate there, so he does take the lead. Those 2 late base hits leads to 2 runs, and that's how he's able to score. I was able to get out of the inning with a couple of huge strikeouts to minimize and not allow him to continue to extend the lead a little bit. So I'm still in the game here, but it does stink a little bit to go down in that way. But nonetheless, the opponent has hit the ball well. He capitalized on that 2-out bases loaded base hit and took advantage of it. He has capitalized, and I have just as many hits. Just about as many hits as he does, and I have not been able to get the big hit with runners on base. I've only been able to hit a solo home run, and that's been the difference of this game so far. But I felt like I was on the ball at times in this one, and I pulled off of it there with Willie Mays. I felt like I could have hit that one pretty well, even though it was an outside pitch. I pulled it. You can sometimes hit home runs that way. Just wasn't the case in this gameplay so far. There I got a bad animation with Ken Griffey Jr. Starts this inning off with a guy in scoring position already in Francisco Lindor. And later on in the inning, this ball could have easily been sent out. Griffey makes the play on that one, so that's kind of the difference as well. He gets a bad animation earlier, allowing the guy to be in scoring position. There he could have easily been in scoring position, but we have a chance to get out of the inning facing Yasmani Grandal. This guy has the all-finest team, so you know this is the finest Grandal. He's a really good hitter, and Ted Williams is going to go ahead and botch this one out in left field. Just completely misses it. I don't really know what happened. Felt like I preloaded the throw in time. Felt like I was under it. Just dropped it. But we're in the top of the 9th inning, and I flew out the very first batter. And unfortunate, but I was unable to capitalize in that inning and tie it up. He just had pretty good at-bats there later on in the game, and I flew out a couple times there in the ninth. We dropped about 22 points, sitting at about 833 rating right now. So going up against Sal right here, he's got a pretty good team as well. Looking to try and get those points right back. I was on kind of a win streak, probably an 8-game win streak. I lost it there in the last game. Felt like it was a pretty good game. It was back and forth. It was a really good one. At the same time, I felt like I could have won that one if I would have hit a little bit better, if I would have been able to capitalize at times. But now we're going to go ahead and get into this second game. No runs scored yet. He's able to get a nice base hit the other way with Frank Thomas. I've been giving up a lot of base hits the other way. In this one, we have Tom Seaver on the mound, and I haven't really had too much success with Tom Seaver. I thought he was going to be a pretty lockdown pitcher for me out there, 99 overall, and so far he's been kind of getting lit up a little bit every time I've used him, so hopefully I'm able to pitch a little bit better in this one. He's already gave up 1 run on that sac fly, but trying to get those runs right back. If you're not able to score any runs in the game, then you don't deserve to win anyway. My ERA for this season is probably around 5. Been giving up easily 5 or 6 runs per game, so if I'm not able to hit, then I'm not going to be able to win any of these games. So we get a nice base hit there with Honus Wagner, extra base hit, and then a no-doubter. Finally was able to wait on a changeup. I was hitting the fastball so far, and I didn't really have consistent feedback even on the fastball. But that seemed like that was the pitch that I was having the most success with. Finally, I was able to wait back on some off-speed. Tom Seaver, later on in the game, hits a slider into the gap for a double. So that's a leadoff double, and I wasn't able to score him. I just had a tough time with runners in scoring position. But keeping the opponent off the board in this one for the most part, 2-1 ball game. Once again, we both could have had a few more runs in this one. I didn't really feel like the ball was carrying that well in some of these games. I felt like at times I was hitting into a force field, trying to hit the ball out of the park, and I was just hitting it to the warning track. I only have 4 hits up until this point, and luckily I was able to hit that 2-run shot because this opponent has been able to keep me off balance with Garrett Cole. This is the finest Garrett Cole. This card is not bad and a little bit better than I thought he would be, especially on some of these harder difficulties. I noticed that I have a little bit of a smaller PCI just because he has that 125 K per 9. That definitely helps for sure, and I feel like it can help with lineouts in certain situations. But finally getting something going here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We have Pablo Sanchez coming up to the plate, the backyard baseball legend, and I just got to go with this guy as my creative player. One of my favorite fictional characters of all time, and he lines out to center field there to end the inning. But in the bottom of the 8th inning here, facing Dennis Eckersley, finally went to the bullpen for a couple batters or for a couple pitchers. But for the most part, I was able to get some pretty strong outings from my starters in this one. Tom Seaver pitched pretty well. And the same thing for his finest Garrett Cole. Finest Garrett Cole pitched extremely effectively in this game. And for the most part, the opponent in the last game was able to keep me off balance with Kershaw. So having a little bit of a tough time at the plate in general. But he gets a strikeout there. Great pitch, great slider on low and away with Aroldis Chapman. Later on in the inning, we have Pablo Sanchez up once again, capitalizing on a base hit. But for whatever reason, Chipper Jones wasn't able to run from second to third. I don't know what happened. There's 2 outs, so he should be running automatically. And I was pressing L1. I don't really know. But anyway, I drew a walk with Chipper Jones, and he was able to get to third base, extending the inning a little bit for Pablo Sanchez and Roberto Alomar. We tack on a couple runs there in the 8th inning, and now it makes it a little bit more of a comfortable game, but at the same time, no lead is safe. I mean, he starts it off with extra base hit or a single. I don't really know what this was. He didn't advance, but Griffey completely missed it. It was kind of a weird hit to begin with down the first base line, and then he's going to go ahead and steal second with Frank Thomas. Honus Wagner doesn't make the tag. I'm pressing triangle, flicking the right stick to try and make the tag. He doesn't do it. I know that he's going to try and take third base here, so I'm trying to go with the slider low and away. He fouls it off. So I know he's going to, I don't know what he's doing. He's down by 5 runs. He needs all the base runners he can get, but I know that he's going to take off just by him taking a lead. Here I get a weird animation. Chipper Jones is walking to third base. I don't get the throwing meter in that situation. I did exactly what I did in my throwing or catcher's throwing tutorial, and I just didn't get the meter there. I don't know what happened. Sometimes it happens that way, but we have a 5-run lead. That's what's most important in this situation. If I didn't break the game open a little bit, then this would kind of be an intense 9th inning here. I mean, if it was still 2-1, he'd have the game-tying run on third base with Frank Thomas after stealing second and third, that would be pretty intense. But we do get the win here. A pop-up to foul territory. Lou Gehrig makes the play, and we move up to 8:53. I also played one other game. I'm going to upload that a little bit either later tonight or tomorrow morning, and I'm going to go ahead and try and make World Series for Babe Ruth. But until next time, everyone, I'm College Lefty, and have a great day. Peace out.